Hello and welcome to another chapter of a tome pulled right off the shelves at the heart of the Jakuls. As always, I am your sturdy host, Lothran, and there's ever so much more data to relay, so let's get to it, shall we? Go grab a filling meal, settle into a cozy spot, and pay accurate attention to Fleet Part 27, Bitter Pill. I'm not dying, leave me alone already! Cam pulled himself out of the chair and onto his fold-out bed. To be honest, it took slightly more than all the energy he had to transit a dozen or so centimeters from one platform to another. His muscles burned, his entire frame ached. He was covered in sweat from head to toe. He'd never felt so humiliated before. The cluster of privates, not wanting to anger their commander further, but not wanting to disobey the combined orders of the other department heads, shuffled where they stood, looking like they wanted to be anywhere else at all. You, get me a piece of paper. You, fetch me some spare parts. You, get me a few fixed this instant. And most of them dispersed, leaving only Mera standing by the door in their wake. You know, Vildar made sure to tell me not to let you handle a fic until you recover at least a little bit. Mera pulled up the chair and plopped into it, leveling a hard but happy stare Cam's way, blocking off his only possible escape from the confines of his bed. I can't just sit here and wallow in how awful I feel. Cam stopped to retch into the bucket beside his bed. Mera silently switched it with an empty container and put a lid on the mostly full one. Thank you, Cam managed to rasp after great difficulty. Everything feels, Losing both Nono and Trike must have been horrible to comprehend for you, Mera commented and then winced after bringing up the all-too-sensitive subject. Cam reflexively reached out toward Trike, or where the connection had once been in his mind. Only because of their link was Cam still alive. As soon as the Zir had infected Cam with a creature hidden within Nono, Trike had felt the danger. The ship had cornered Vildar, Mera, and a few others, forcing them into its belly, and launching itself straight into the resonance field, despite the understanding that it was flying to its own death. Cam could sort of feel Trike's final flight in his mind. The ship had stayed extremely low, traveling quickly toward the valley, but only enough speed to traverse the distance and keep its passengers alive. The ship had known it would never survive the trip, probably not even make it the whole way there, but it got them close enough for Vildar to free Cam from the clutches of the Zir and get him back to the base without further incident. One of the privates set down a box of random supplies, nodding to Mera before going out to stand in the hall and await orders. You have a fic, Mera. I don't want to wait. Let's get this started, Cam asked of her, trying to take his mind off the gaping hole in both his psyche and his body. Feeling quite a bit more exhausted than he wanted to be right now. I'm not going to let you use it, so just drop it, Mera insisted firmly. Oh no, I'm going to explain what I want you to do, and you're going to make it for me. You're practically as good as I am at inventing everything. Cam snarled her away even as he pulled the blanket over his form, a chill beginning to creep into his limbs. You mean it? She blushed a little. Of course. If it weren't for you. Cam took a few minutes to empty more of his stomach into the new bucket. Mara switched them like the last time, but sent the waiting soldier to empty the spent ones and fetch a few cleaned containers. If it weren't for you, everyone would have starved ages ago. It's nice to hear someone say it, I guess. I spend so much time just getting things done in the pit. I've never really thought about it. Mara fiddled with her thick hand tool as she conversed with Cam rather jovially. The other two soldiers showed up with their requests, and Mara sent one back to his duties while the other was to wait in the cleared-out room across the hall. Cam took several minutes to catch his breath while Mira set the table and herself upon it. "So what are we making, Cam?" she asked of him rather happily, while Cam tried not to feel as bad as he'd ever felt in his entire life, and probably a little worse. A crane arm," Cam managed to say after a bit of struggling against the words. "A crane? What are we going to attach it to? Is this for the ship crews? You know they're fine without you, right?" I need to make something, all right. If I can't make or design it," Cam coughed weakly, "then I need to tell someone else how to make it. Just to pass the time. I can't just sit around and feel terrible. That'll make things so much worse. Okay, Mara?" Cam began his little speech strong, but he ended up in little more than a rasping wheeze, and looking so poorly for the effort that Mara decided not to argue with him further. "Okay, how big do you want it?" Just as big as a regular arm, yours or mine. Just, we don't have to get too complicated too quickly." Cam struggled with each and every word as he held his eyes at the dull gray ceiling, desperate to keep his insides from leaping out of his face for at least a minute or so. He only managed about 12 more seconds without having to take a break. Mara waited respectfully until Cam was finished, joining his face with the inside of the bucket. "Design specs?" Mara asked as she jotted down the proper info. "It'll need to rotate at least 100 degrees and support a full weight of the average jackal man." Cam twisted exhaustedly back into the solace of his bucket again, the effects of the drugs Vildar had injected him with to eradicate all traces of the Zir infection. "What are we making here, Cam?" "A crane, like I said." "You'll see when we're done. Gotta make the first one, though." Cam huddled back under the relative warmth of his blankets, wishing Mara would just get on with the process already. He desperately wanted to look at the design to see if it was up to the snuff he intended for it. "And so it is. Our time together has once more come to a close. I hope each and every one of you enjoyed the tale as much as I have the telling of it. As always, I've been your learned host, Lothran, and this was Fleet, Part 27, Bitter Pill, another tale right from the heart of the Jakuls. And now, we must once again part ways. Korvoth, guide them back along the proper path, back to the safety they know all too well."
"Yes, sir, Lothran. Oh, Trike's gone. And No, too. Oh, I'm so sad now. I still have a job to do. A pleasant greeting and a fond farewell to each and all. Please leave all your comments, questions, and kindnesses down below. Don't let me catch a single one of you leaving any of that mean, rude, or terrible stuff, though. You keep all that malarkey to yourselves. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to help us learn, spread, and grow. And don't forget that we strongly encourage each and every one of you to stay safe out there. See you again tomorrow for Fleet Part 28. Good night and good luck, everyone. Bye-bye. I'm so sad now.